Hello everyone, this is Mr. O'Leary with another intro to Stoichiometry video. So in the last video we talked about a grilled cheese sandwich. We used the coefficients for bread and cheese to make a sandwich, and we were able to convert and see how many different pieces of cheese, how many pieces of cheese we needed, how many pieces of bread we needed to create sandwiches, and we learned how to use them. We also practiced them on Google Form with different real reactions, with different reactions so you could see how many moles of each would be produced. So the next step is, if we still take our grilled cheese sandwich, we have cheese. Actually, let's do bread first. Sorry. So we do bread plus cheese and gives me my B2C3, my grilled cheese sandwich. So we need 2 pieces of bread to every 3 pieces of cheese. So what we talked about is the ratio between bread and cheese is 2 to 3. So if I were to have, let's say, 6 pieces of bread. No, we used that last time. Let's not use 6 pieces of bread. Let's use 14 pieces of bread. And if I have 14 times 3 divided by 2, which is what, 28, 38, 42, divided by 2 is 21. 21. So let's just check our math, just to make sure my math in my head is working this morning. 3 times 14 equals, divided by 2 is 21. All right, so if I have 14 pieces of bread, I need 21 pieces of cheese to make grilled cheese sandwiches. So now let's say I want to know how many grilled cheese sandwiches I was going to make. So we can either use the bread or the cheese. So let's use the cheese. So our cheese ratio from cheese to bread, to grilled cheese sandwiches is 3 to 1. So we have a 3 to 1 ratio. Where did I get that? It's the coefficient of cheese is 3. The coefficient of sandwiches is 1. So if I use 21 pieces of cheese, that is 21 times 1 divided by 3, which I can make 7 grilled cheese sandwiches. And then we also talked about briefly about how a lot of chemists, what they'll do is they'll say basically, I need so much of a product. So let's say I have 20 people coming over and they like eating grilled cheese sandwiches. So I need 40 grilled cheese sandwiches. So if I need 40 grilled cheese sandwiches, how many pieces of cheese or bread do I need? Well, what we can do is our ratio. Let's talk about cheese again. So our ratio of grilled cheese sandwiches is 1, and then over here we need 3 pieces of cheese. So if we do it again, 40 times 3 is 120, divided by 1 is 120. So I would need 120 pieces of cheese. And you can easily see it's a 1 to 3 ratio, so you just multiply 40 times 3 is 120. But that's how you set it up, because later on it will become more difficult. So now let's build on what we've done and include our mole to mass, our mole to number by doing this. So like last time, what we did is 1 piece of cheese. 1 cheese is equal to, let's say, 22.7 grams. And 1 piece of bread, that's a horrible B. Let me erase that. I'm going to erase my cheese too. 1 cheese, 1 bread is equal to 31.2. So 31.2 grams. So let's say I have, let's say 62, analyze a problem, I'm giving it to you. I have 62.4 grams of bread. And I want to know how many grams of sandwiches I will make. Or I should probably keep this consistent for you, sorry. So how many grams of sandwiches will I make? How many grams of B2C3 will I make? Well, we set up the problem is we have grams of bread. What do we need to go to? We need to go to number of bread. And then from number of bread, we need to do the ratio between them. So we need to do number of sandwiches. And then from there, we can go to grams of sandwiches. Now we need to set up our equalities. So we have grams preceding, so grams of bread, it will go in the denominator. Number of bread will go in the denominator here, and number of sandwiches will go in the denominator here. And then what's before it will go here, so grams of sandwiches will go here, number of sandwiches will go here, and then number of bread will go here. So for every slice of bread, we have 31.2 grams. And for our ratio between bread and sandwiches, bread is 2, and sandwiches is 1. And then number of sandwiches, for every one sandwich, we have how many grams? Well, we need to figure that out. We haven't figured that out yet. So we have bread B2 at C3. So bread, we have 2 of them, times 31.2 grams is equal to, and then C, we have how many of them? We have 3 of them, times 22.7, and that is equal to 62.4. And this, I don't feel like doing it in my head. So we have 22.7, not time divided by, times 3. $68.1. So we have 68.1. So our sandwiches, what we have is for one sandwich, oh, we have to add them together, sorry. So we have a 62.4 plus 68.1. And our sandwich has a molar mass of 130.5. So we have, for every sandwich, we have 130.5 grams. So now we solve this. So we solve this by doing 62.4 grams of bread. We multiply that by our equality, which is one piece of bread over 31.2 grams of bread. So now we go to the ratio of sandwiches to bread. So we have one sandwich is over 2 slices of bread. And then we have our sandwich we have sandwiches in the numerator. We got to get rid of sandwiches. So one sandwich has a mass of, we need grams, so mass of 130 grams, 0.5 grams. I know this looks horrible. Sorry, guys. So from here, you have it all set up. You should be good to go. And so let's take out our calculator. Let's move it over here. And let's see, 62.4 times 130.5 divided by 31.2 divided by 2 is 130.5. That's wrong. That is not wrong, because we have 2 slices of bread and it makes one sandwich. So our answer is 130.5. That looks horrible. Sorry, guys. Let's see, 130.5 grams of sandwiches. Box that in. Does that make sense? Well, I think it makes sense. Because we have 2 pieces of bread here, the amount of mass of 2 pieces of bread, and that 2 pieces of bread is going to make one sandwich, and our mass of one sandwich is this. So we do dimensional analysis, and that's what I just did. I hit pause. Sorry, I should have shown you my thought process. That's what really matters. But we have grams of bread here, grams of bread here. We have a piece of bread here, a piece of bread here. We have sandwiches here. We have sandwiches here. We have grams here. And we're not crossing out grams. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for grams, so that's okay. So we have 130.5 grams of sandwiches. This is the exact same way you would do it as a chemistry. So if I said I needed to make 10 sandwiches, I could use stoichiometry and molar ratios to just tell me how much bread and cheese I would need. Now, it seems very easy. Obviously, if I want to make 10 of these, it would just be 10 times this, 10 times this. But it's not always going to be that in stoichiometry. So what we'll do is we'll practice some of these, and then we'll get to using chemical reactions. And you'll see it's a little more difficult, but it's the same exact setup. If you learn how to set this up, you will be perfectly fine. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody, and stay safe.